Hello, this is Anitria Swanson, one of the counselors here at Atherton High School, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time sharing with you an opportunity available for rising juniors and rising seniors, the Governor's School for the Arts, a summer program that will take place from June 27th through July 17th on the campus of University of Kentucky. So what exactly is GSA? Put very simply, the Governor's School for the Arts is a community of artists that empowers Kentucky's next generation of creative leaders. And so the way that they accomplish this, and probably a big reason you're likely watching this presentation, it's the GSA summer program. So we're going to look at a quick video promotional about applying to GSA 2021.
The Governor's School for the Arts is a tuition-free residential program where we bring together some of the state's most passionate young artists for 3 weeks of living and learning together on a college campus. You have the opportunity to meet and work with dozens of professionals in your field. You have a chance to meet other young artists who share your passion and your interests from other parts of Kentucky and different walks of life. We engage not only in lessons about how we can deepen our creative practice as an artist, but also how we can affect our communities and our own individual futures through our art. We're not just looking for artistically talented high schoolers, we're looking for folks who are really passionate about their art, who are really eager to grow, who are eager to give back to their community through their creativity. You really forge very deep relationships. A lot of our alumni say that they made lifelong friends through the program. By all of us collectively doing something in a way that we've never done before, it creates a very special type of bond.
So what a great overview of the program. As mentioned before, it is for rising juniors and seniors in high school. The program does focus on 9 art forms, 9 disciplines: architecture and design, creative writing, dance, drama, film and photography, instrumental music, musical theater, visual art, and vocal music. You would apply for the program through one of those disciplines. It is a 3-week program. You get the opportunity to live on college campus and just participate in intense and fun training across those art forms. So I'm sharing with you a survey from last year. I kind of polled our last year's applicant pool to see which disciplines they were interested in auditioning for. And last year, the majority of our students auditioned in the area of visual art. And the second most auditioned area was film and photography, and then creative writing. And vocal music. We had several students that were selected from Atherton to participate in the program. One was Nina Powell, a current senior, who her area was drama. Rhiannon Johnson, film and photography. Emma Settles Krebs, instrumental music. Daniel Smith, instrumental music, Lena Dempler, visual art, and Anna Erickson, visual art. So we had strong representation for GSA 2020 from Atherton High School, and hope to have strong representation in the 2021 program. So as mentioned, if you are a current sophomore and junior and will be that means you're going to be a rising junior or senior next year, you would be eligible to apply for the program. You can really just, even if you're not a current sophomore and junior, you can still access this information and think about preparing yourself to be competitive as a GSA applicant down the line. It should come as no surprise that GSA, they're looking for students who exhibit skill in their art form. However, don't be discouraged if you haven't received a lot of formal training, or if you feel you might not measure up to other young artists in the state for one reason or another. The program, they look for students not just in public schools, but private and home schools. And they're really looking to see that you have a passion for your art form and that you're eager to learn and willing to be challenged towards growth in your art form. And so don't worry if you haven't had much formal training, because they are looking at these other dimensions of you as a young artist as well, that you are collaborative and open-minded, and they are committed to building a diverse community. So they want an applicant pool of all backgrounds and identities. Just an overview of the program. We want you, to just get an idea of what this summer program would look like, how you would spend your time in the program. So for opening day, if you will, you would be moving into the residential hall and attending an opening ceremony with your parents or guardians. Then you would say goodbye to your family for 3 weeks. You would not see them. Once they leave you there on campus for opening day, there's no visitation for the entire duration of the program. So that might sound a little scary. It might be exciting. It'll be all of those things, but you're going to be surrounded by a compassionate residential staff, faculty, and there's a mental health counselor on hand to help you cope with any stress or homesickness that might arise. You're not allowed to have cell phones outside of your dorm room, but you can always call your family and friends at the end of the day. So that just gives you a little snapshot of what transitioning into GSA would look like. There's a daily schedule where you on the second day, you hit the ground running, where each day begins with breakfast. There's a morning session where all of the students come together and attend based on your discipline. Those morning sessions often include performances, presentations, and the opportunity for you to interact with artists from a variety of fields and careers. And it's just a great way to learn about other art forms. And you might even discover potential careers in the arts that you never knew existed. And then you're off to class, or GSA calls it studio time, studio presentation time. And this can consist of many different activities based on your art form. But typically it's classes, workshops, rehearsals, demonstrations, field trips, independent work time, and it goes on and on. But the idea is that you are receiving personalized training from a variety of experts in your art discipline. And so through this process, you're developing mentorships that can last a lifetime. Then there's the residential life. You would be living in a dorm, and each student is assigned a residential advisor, or an RA for short. You can think of that RA as like your GSA mom or dad. They live in the dorm and serve as mentors to support you through the program. And this year, the host campus of GSA is the University of Kentucky. So students would be living in Holmes Hall. That is the University of Kentucky's Fine Arts Residential Hall. It has lots of state-of-the-art student living space, but it also has a dance studio, a writing lab, an art studio, and practice rooms. So Each GSA student is assigned a roommate from a different art form and from a different county. And students would be sharing a 2-bedroom suite, which means you'd be sharing a bathroom and living space with another person, but you would have your own individual bedroom. And so if you want to know more about that, you can just check out the University of Kentucky's website and look at room layouts for Holmes Hall. And floor floors are assigned by gender, but GSA does work with non-binary and transgender students to ensure that they have a customized housing situation that's comfortable for them. So 3 weeks, this really rich experience that leads up to a final day celebration. On the final day of the program, family and friends are invited back on campus for a day of celebration. At that time, all of the GSA students are showcasing their work, and the day is just filled with performances and readings and gallery exhibitions. And the day concludes with a graduation ceremony, and then you head back home. And believe me, at the end of those 3 weeks, you will be exhausted, but you will have had the time of your life. I'm speaking from personal experience as a graduate of Governor's School for the Arts, class of 1992. I participated in the discipline of instrumental music, where I played the cello. So it is still one of the best memories that I have of one of my high school experiences. So, beyond GSA, there are quite a few benefits, alumni benefits. So just know that your GSA experience doesn't end after the summer program. GSA, they have a lifelong commitment to its alumni. I still get communications from GSA, and they are there. They want to support you towards accessing college experiences and just really supporting you to be a creative member of our community. GSA alumni receive scholarships to nearly 30 colleges and universities across the country, and they provide a full listing of those scholarships on the alumni section of their website. Also, they provide alumni with a significant college and career significant college and career coaching. They provide a college fair during the summer program, and just provide opportunities for you to meet college reps even during, not just during the summer program, but a fall college and career event. And you always will have that continued mentorship with GSA faculty and staff. Alumni are also eligible to apply for GSA's Toyota Alumni Fund, and they provide $10,000 a year in grant funding to support just the artistic development of alumni. So just some great opportunities there that exist beyond participating in the program. And so I guess we just need to talk about the elephant in the room. What if GSA 2021 has to be virtual, because it won't be able to take place in person if certain safety protocols can't be met. So there are many unknowns about the upcoming year, but GSA will definitely work to provide the best learning experience possible, whether it be in person, fully virtual, or a mix of the two. But they are there to provide the best experience possible. Last year, in the wake of COVID-19, this past summer's program went fully virtual. And it's mind-boggling to think about building a community of artists across 9 art forms online, but GSA met the challenge. They were able to support students and hold them accountable, had the right mix of patience and creativity. Just surveys revealed that students had a very wonderful 3-week experience. Okay, so the application process. Quickly talk about that. So the GSA application, um, just some big highlights. There's an online application, and then there is a 2 round process, and the first round is virtual. So every applicant must complete an online application to be considered for GSA 2021. And so if you don't have access to internet, you're encouraged to reach out to the Governor's School for the Arts directly about accommodations. But the entire process from start to finish includes those 2 rounds. And the first round is completely virtual. Every student who submits an application is going to be considered in this first virtual round. And so we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. But looking at the timeline for application, the initial online application is due by January 10th. And GSA recommends turning in your application at least 1 week early to avoid inevitable, issues with the internet or the application portal a couple of days prior to the deadline. So definitely give yourself enough time to get that in. On February 19th, applicants learn whether they've advanced to the second and final round of the application process, and those who do are deemed as GSA finalists. There's no pre-calculated number of finalists, although generally about half of the applicants have been forwarded on in prior years. The second and final round includes an in-person audition or review at the University of Kentucky on March 19th or 20th. So it'll be a while before you would know if you've advanced to the final round. But strongly encourage you to mark those dates in your calendar with a pencil. Plans are being made to accommodate the final round virtually if GSA is unable to host auditions in person. In that case, finalists would be updated on what's required of them in a virtual version of the final round when they learn of their if they've been named a finalist. GSA makes the big announcement on April 16th when they release the list of accepted students for GSA 2021. And they'll also release a list of waiting list students who would be alternates. So what we know is that based on current capacity and funding, GSA anticipates being able to accept 256 students into the 2021 summer program. And finally, we know that this program is going to take place June 27th through July 17th. So please mark that on your calendar. So other items of note are that, through this entire process, GSA will never ask you for your GPA, SAT, or ACT scores. Students can apply for up to 2 art forms, and, oftentimes young artists are multidisciplinary, so they excel in more than one area. So GSA gives you the opportunity to apply across art forms. And if you're an instrumentalist, you can apply on 2 different instruments if you desire, but that will count as 2 art forms, and you will not be able to submit a third application. There is a $30 application fee collected just before submitting your application. That fee increases to $35 if you apply for 2 art forms. Students on free or reduced lunch can have this fee completely waived. And you can do this by simply a click of a button in the application. There's no questions asked. And, while GSA seeks a diverse student body from across the state, there are no demographic acceptance quotas for GSA. This means they don't accept a certain number of students from each county or high school, nor do they seek specific quotas for gender, race, age, grade, and school, etc. So, you might be aware that GSA is one of 3 incredible governor's school programs in Kentucky, the other 2 being the Governor's Scholars Program and the Governor's School for Entrepreneurs. Both GSP and GSE are awesome summer programs. And while all three are residential summer programs for talented high school students, their application processes are totally different. So, first things first. Let's go back to the first round of the application process, and there some details there about the online application that everyone needs to submit by January 10th. So the first thing is there is a link to KentuckyGSA.org. Everything you need for the application will be in the section titled Prospective Students, Parents, and Educators. And on that website, there's going to be a very important document for your art form called the Applicant Guide. And there are 9 applicant guides in total. So I'm just going to, let me see if I can't get to that to show you how to access that. So once on the Kentucky Governor's School for the Arts website, you will see a general about section in the top right-hand corner, an alumni section, and a prospective students, parents, and educators section. There's also lots of good information, a lot of like Q&A sections for you to know more about the application process. I'm going to just scroll down on this page. And I'm going to go to the prospective students page. And if you scroll down there, you have some information about applying, and this button will take you directly to their application portal. And the next section has important dates, info sessions, and deadlines. So I'm just going to click there so that you could get an idea of some information that you can access here. Recordings of past GSA virtual sessions, great webinars, some of which I have embedded in the presentation that I'm sharing with you. Coming up next week, there is an informational session on architecture and design. So if you were interested in applying for that particular art form, you would register for that. I highly encourage you to check out these opportunities so that you will be able to have some conversation with representatives from each of those art forms. And some of the other timelines I've already mentioned, but this is just a great resource of upcoming opportunities and access to previously recorded webinars. I'm going to hit the back button, and I'm going to go to the applicant guides because you're going to probably spend a lot of time there. This is where you will learn specifically about the art form that you would be applying to. So if I were applying to creative writing, I would click here to access that guide. If I were applying for dance, I would click here. Drama, film and photography, and instrumental music. I'm going to go back up and just show you what to expect in that applicant guide. We'll just explore the creative writing one for a second. So you click here for the applicant guide on detailed instructions on how to apply for that preliminary round. It opens up as a PDF document for that specific art discipline. And you will have an overview of the program there and the preliminary round requirements outlined. So here it's saying you have 2 recommendation forms, a personal short essay, a personal question video, art form specific questions, and a manuscript if you were pursuing creative writing. There is a school administrator recommendation form, and so you would need to identify a counselor or a principal or assistant principal to complete this for you. And you would enter that individual's email address in your application, and GSA would email them directly with that recommendation form for them to complete. The same for the teacher recommendation form. Okay, so you would want to read through that criteria carefully. Again, every aspect of that application is outlined. So you would want to read through, if you were creative writing, on what the requirement for the personal short essay would be, or the personal question video. Right. So also included in this presentation are some of the informational videos that were highlighted on the informational page on the website. One such recording is one that gives you an overview of the applicant guides. So I encourage you to revisit this slide deck and watch this overview for more information about utilizing the applicant guides in your application process. You are going to be completing this application by January 10th, and you can start and stop the application as you please. It saves your work along the way. So when you click the Apply Now button on the GSA's website, you are going to be directed to a new page on their application portal called Accepted. And this is a widely used application program for various art schools. You're going to create a profile with Accepted and then proceed with your application. They have their own technology support team that you can contact if you experience any technology glitches. And just some things for you to expect when you go to that site. You're going to be asked to provide some basic demographic information. You are going to be asked to identify 2 recommenders. And so you're going to provide that contact information for each recommender, like your school administrator, a counselor, principal, or assistant principal, as well as a teacher. And so also you are going to provide that contact info, the emails, and you never have to submit a letter of recommendation or turn anything in behalf of your recommenders. They will be prompted to provide that information. Next, across all those art forms, you're going to respond to 2 essay prompts. One response will be written, and the other one would be a verbal response. You also can expect to respond to some art form specific questions about your experience and interest in that area. Don't be intimidated if you're asked whether you've taken a class in your art form, but one doesn't exist in your school or isn't accessible to you. GSA is just simply trying to get to know you better so that they understand you and your work in the fullest context possible. Okay. Another few resources that you will be able to access on the slide deck were pulled from those informational webinars highlighted on the GSA website. One is an overview of the application process, and the other one is just talking a little bit more about the application portal. So they've really provided applicants with a robust amount of resources to assist them through this process. There are some upcoming virtual info sessions and important dates that you should be aware of. By clicking on that particular link, you can see what they are. I think I highlighted them earlier as they relate to specific art forms. There's just some general Q&A sessions, and also the timelines that you should keep in mind are highlighted there. If you need additional information, GSA encourages you to reach out directly to them. The website is provided, as well as ways to connect through social media. You can always reach out to me directly, Nitria Swanson, and my contact information is available on the Counselor's Corner.